Hello. We are working on the top of your collar, and as I probably said before in the previous video, what's the actual top color is, but I'm just going to remind you again. So we have a top of your collar with I put letter T, which is important, helps you later, and also that you've got your neckline, and as you see it's quite stretched. I also marked, so make sure it's the wrong side of your collar, not the right side. So it's very, very important. And the center back marked. So now that T will be, we're going to put with the top collar on your actual mannequin. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see the mannequin. There we go. So we've got a center back here, and that at the back, although it's like you see on the collar, although it looks like it's the bottom of your collar, it's actually called the top. That's the top of the collar, because when you put your collar up like this, that's what we have with our so that will be your top. That will be T. So I'll right mark that T. So that will be your top. And then this one would be brick line, and that's your neckline, which is the collar stand. This is the collar stand. It's quite important to know what your collar and where the piece is. So therefore, so if you look on our panel there, this is the wrong side. T goes with T. So if we put the wrong side with the wrong side, that's how it matches. So T with T. And then that part, so we'll have to drop down. So suddenly now UT is going to be down right at the bottom. So it's important now we march in center back with the center back, and we leave some similarities, about 1 centimeter to 1.5. You don't need it more than that. So you fold it underneath like that. So it's important you smooth that. So I'm just going to pin the collar on this side so it stays. So I'm just going to pin that here so it stays in place. And this side we need to smooth nicely. So if you see, we're following the seam allowance. See that? We've got the seam allowance here, so about 1 to 1.5. And the rest of the color will push it inside. So it's behind your break line. So we check, smooth everything, and everything needs to be checked. So that is the time consuming, but do spend time on that. So make sure it's all lays properly, make sure everything is nice and smooth. Look, that's really nice actually, because we stretched it correctly. It's sitting really nicely. Now we're going to that point here, can you see? So make sure you've got plenty of the fabric to cover and have your seam allowance, and also plenty of the fabric in the end as well. So you will need those seam allowance, very, very important. So we'll go to this side and make sure they are corresponding in the same way. So I think this side has got more. So I'm going to slightly smooth that side because it looks like it's been stretched. So that's important now. Yeah, you spend that time so checking, so that's slightly been moved, I can see. So the center, yeah, center back here, so make sure it matches with that. Okay, so when we're done and we are happy what it looks like, so we've, and the positions that we're going to tuck your collar. It's very important. So single thread, tuck and thread. And now what we're going to do is we're going to tuck. So I'm going to stand from this side, so it's easier for me. And also you can, so hopefully you can see as well. Check again, make sure I've got seam allowance. What happens if this one later on, we're going to fold them underneath. So we're going to fold them there and only reveal about 2 millimeters of that. So make sure I've got enough of that. So you don't want to end up with too short either. So that's plenty of the seam allowance. So I'm just going to actually move a little bit more for that. That's it. So I'm going to start from the center back towards the front. I always do that on the collar because of the tension. So I'm going to just attach it there, right in the middle, and I'm tucking that to the collar. So my top collar, tuck to that, but do not stretch your top collar. So it's nice, just nice, smooth line. Okay, like this. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then go to right in the middle and right to the end here. Okay. So that's it, and I'm going to secure that and stop. So that's one part. Okay. Okay. The next part, you obviously have to do another side, exactly the same. I know you're only doing the color, but it'd be good practice for you to do it anyway, so you know how it all works and how it all distributes. So you do that side as well. Okay. Which you've got in a lace and in a similar way. Go through your canvas. It's quite heavy to do that, so just sort of turn around so you can see. There you go. So it's you should don't stretch your collar. And again, if you tucked and it doesn't lace nicely flat, you have to do it and do it again until it's perfect. So yeah, I'm going to secure that side. That's it. Okay. So that's done. That's beautiful. Now the next part would be is a break line. So I'm going to attach that. Again, it starts, I started from the center back to the front and put my hand underneath and I tuck that on actual break line. So you can see that right at the top. So it's a little bit stiff. So you just need to make sure you have your thimble. And then continue tucking along your break line. So you have your fabric will be placed in the right place. So don't go right to your seam allowance. So I'm going to leave that open, otherwise I have to undo my tucking. So I'm going to stop here. So before where the facing is, I've got a gap here. So I'm going to just secure that. That's it. We'll do exactly the same on the other side. There we go. So now let's do exactly the same along your break line on another side straight away, which I'm going to do in a minute. We're just going to pin that so it stays there. When you done that, so your next part would be, so you need to be checked, make sure your seam allowance is on the both sides identical. I think this one is my seam allowance moved, so I'm going to undo that line. It's very important that's identical, so I can't stress enough. So I'm going to undo that side and I'm going to perfect that. Take your time. So the next part would be, which is I'm going to show you, is you need to fold it, your collar under like this. So if you look, see, I put that underneath. Then I've got about 2 millimeters, 2 to 3 millimeters, no more, showing from the top collar. So I'm going to fold that over, and that goes along all that line. So if you've got too much seam allowance here, that's where you can cut. So, but before you do that, you do need to check, make sure you've got plenty everywhere. Okay, so that is important. So I'm going to look inside. So it's quite a lot seam allowance there, and so I'm going to trim that. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to mark. So I've got my so I'm going to fold it there, so that's way too much. See, how I do, I just fold it opposite. Yeah, and I'm going to just from here, just going to cut a little bit off that, because otherwise it's just to create too much bulk. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay. So I'm going to stop the video now, and I'm going to perfect another side, so I'm not in a hurry, make it everything lays flat to get things ready, and then I will do a second demonstration with the color. I think it's quite a lot of information as well in one go. So I'll see you in the next video, so we'll be part 2. Bye.